Occultism interests lots of people. There is a fascination with the unexplainable and the spiritual. There is something about the concept of supernatural abilities that intrigue humanity beyond compare. Through ages, there have been myths, legends, and claims of people who possessed magical, spiritual, or otherworldly abilities. But are they real? Is it possible that some people are born with extraordinary abilities? Can such abilities be learned? So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 people who claim to have superpowers. Natasha Demkhina. In Saransk, Russia, a baby was born in 1987. This baby was Natalia Demkhina, known as Natasha, who would grow up to have alleged X-ray vision. The Russian woman claims that she can see inside the human body, giving her the unique ability to make medical diagnoses without the need for an actual examination. By the age of 10, young Natasha was already doing medical readings for the Russian people. She was featured on the Discovery Channel both in the United Kingdom and in Japan in 2004. In 2006, she started to use her miraculous powers publicly, setting up the Center of Special Diagnostics of Natalia Demkhina, or TSSD for short. The purpose of the TSSD was for Natasha and other healers involved with the organization to help diagnose and treat various maladies by using unusual abilities, folk healing and traditional medicine. Natasha explained, "I was at home with my mother and suddenly I had a vision. I could see inside my mother's body and I started telling her about the organs I could see. She revealed that after she informed her mother that she was able to see the organs inside her, the word of her abilities spread around the community. Local people would come to her wanting insight into the condition of their health. In 2003, a newspaper picked up on the story and she was invited to the UK, Japan, and New York to demonstrate her powers. In the UK, she gave demonstrations of her skills, after which all her diagnoses were placed alongside those of professional doctors. One of her demonstrations impressed the daytime host of This Morning Britain by pointing out the fact that she had a sore ankle, and the Discovery Channel claimed that she managed to identify the fractures and even metal pins stuck in a woman who had been in a terrible car crash. Her talents were, at first, believed and applauded, but after she left the country, it became clear that she had made several mistakes with her diagnoses. The worst one of all being the diagnosis she gave to Chris Steele, a television physician. She claimed he had various problems, such as kidney stones and a serious issue with his gallbladder, among other things, but it turned out he was in pristine health and had no ailments at all. She was taken to New York to showcase her skills in the documentary The Girl with X-Ray Eyes, where she was tested by researchers from the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry. The people she diagnosed explained they felt her diagnoses were accurate. Many of the patients were impressed with her, but the scientists were skeptical, claiming instead that the phenomenon is akin to that of fortune tellers, nothing more, as her diagnoses were often faulty, according to researcher Richard Wiseman. Ray Hyman, Richard Wiseman, and Andrew Skolnick were the leading researchers conducting their tests on Natasha and came to the conclusion she did not show enough proof of having the acclaimed ability to be studied any further. Natasha Demkhina managed to correctly diagnose basic conditions in 4 or 6 patients, but needed to get at least 5 or 6 correct in order for more experiments to be carried out. Demkhina and her supporters argued about the conditions under which she was tested, primarily their unfairness towards her. Brian Josephson, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist and supporter of parapsychology, heavily criticized Ray Hyman's methods, questioning the scientists' motives, and then accused them of having some kind of plot to discredit the teenage claimed psychic. Brian Josephson's argument was that Natasha managed to get 4 of 6 patient diagnoses correct. The chances of that were 1 in 50 or 2% alone, and that fact, according to him, should be considered. Demkhina had more testing at the Tokyo Electrical University in Japan, where she was further tested by Professor Yoshio Mashi. Since the early 2000s, not much has been heard from Demkhina. Candido Amantini. Born in Italy in 1914, Candido Amantini was to become a great Catholic Passionist priest in Rome. His official title destined to be that of Reverend Father Candido of the Immaculate, a master exorcist, spiritual director and confessor. From 1961 until he passed away in 1992, Candido Amantini was the saving grace of Rome, renowned for his exorcisms. The priest would see anywhere from 60 to 80 people in a single day, pleading for assistance. He was stationed at the Church of the Holy Staircase, and as well as being an exorcist, he additionally taught sacred scripture and moral theology, even wrote a novel about the Virgin Mary. In his childhood, Amantini was the second of 4 children, born to Giovanni Battista Amantini and Diolinda Frattini Amantini, a faithful Catholic family. The future priest was baptized exactly 8 days after his birth. At the mere age of 12, he entered the Passionist Minor Seminary in Rome in October of 1926, and by the time he was only 16, he began studies at the Passionist Novitiate on Mount Argentario, in the retreat of St. Joseph. It is here where he was gifted the name of Candido of the Immaculate, and took his temporary vows as Passionist. In 1936, after he concluded all his priestly studies, including those of philosophy and theology in Lucca, he took his eternal vows as a Passionist, transferring to the Church of the Holy Staircase, where he studied to attain a degree in theology at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas, which he got in 1941. He passed away after a long illness on the feast of St. Candido, his patron saint since his passing. The Vatican has gifted him the title of Servant of God, and his beatification is still being investigated by the Congregation for the Causes of Saints. The priest spoke Hebrew, Greek, German, and Sanskrit alongside Italian. His exorcism studies, however, came from Father Alessandro Coletti, exorcist of the Diocese of Arezzo, who taught him and even helped him conduct his first exorcism under his guidance. St. Padre Pio of Pietrelcina said Father Candido is a priest according to God's heart. Father Candido was a man of God, always calm, always smiling, never angry even with the devil. He was on everyone's lips, well known in Rome, and has exorcised for 36 years without ever stopping. Don Amorth, who claims that Father Candido could see a photograph and immediately tell whether someone required an exorcism or medical care. The priest helped hundreds of faithful throughout his life, exorcising many people from bad spirits and demons alike. Don Amorth claims that the devil was afraid of Father Candido, who consistently cast him out of the bodies of victims. Candido allegedly had conversations with the devil during some exorcisms, where he would mock the devil with his faith and love in God. Don Amorth conducted exorcisms with Father Candido from 1986 to 1990 and became his successor. Shamans. Shamanism is a practice often connected with indigenous tribal societies. The underlying belief is that shamans have the capacity to connect to other worlds, heal the feeble, interact with spirits, and guide lost souls to the afterlife. The religious ideology is based heavily on the belief in spirits, demons, and ancestral entities. Colonialism and imperialism have negatively affected the chance for indigenous groups to pass down their traditions and spirituality, but many communities are attempting a spiritual comeback despite the difficulty. Shamans tend to claim that they have been called to their work by divine dreams or signs with hereditary abilities. Traditionally, shamanic training takes years. Depending on culture, the shaman's functions may vary anywhere from healing, preserving traditions throughout storytelling, sacrifices, fortune-telling, and being a psychopomp. Generally, shamans hold professional knowledge of herbal remedies in their areas, often prescribing said remedies for various illnesses. It is believed in many such cultures that every item has a spirit, plants included. In the Peruvian Amazon basin, shamans evoke spirits utilizing a type of song called an icaros. Often totems are used, such as sacred stones and objects of spiritual value. Some young shamans in training will take natural poisons that slow their hearts to a point of nearly passing away. The traditional point of this exercise is for the shaman to meet their spiritual guides and wander down into the underworld so that they can gather information for the living and prepare in their role as the spiritual guide for other humans. The nomadic Tuvan tribe in Russia is the most authentic tribe which holds tightly onto their roots and traditions, mostly because they are isolated from modern society. They have an estimated population of 3,000 people, and the practice of shamanism at its purest form has been well preserved in the tribe due to a lack of other religions or colonialism interfering with its people. Supernatural abilities are a concept that's difficult for some people to believe, especially in the modern era of science. However, myths and legends of people who are able to traverse other realms, to see the unseen and do the undoable, have existed for as long as humanity has. So surely there must be some truth to these claims. But what do you make of these 3 people who claim to have supernatural abilities? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.